The secular media blew it. The secular media blew it. I want you to hear what I'm going to share with you just for the next few moments, kind of an open statement from some things I have been observing over the past several years. I want to stop and say this to you. When I was a child, I remember, boy, I'm dating myself here, black and white televisions, no cable. They called it rabbit ears, and sometimes you had to put aluminum foil on it and position them a certain way to get a decent picture. And I can remember this would have been in 1960s, like 62, 63, 64, 65, through that time frame. And I was just a kid, 4 or 5, 6 years of age. However, I remember that at that time you had 3 major networks. You had the Columbia Broadcasting System, which is CBS, the American Broadcasting System, which was ABC, and you had what was also NBC. That may be national broad. I don't know what the N stands for in that one, honestly, but we had 3 networks. I do remember that. All right, and here's the thing. There was no 24-hour cable news. You had nightly news. It came on, if I remember, it came on about 6:30 to 7, if I recall. It may have been 7 to 7:30, but it was after everybody got home from work. And almost everyone would sit down in front of that black and white television and watch the nightly news. Now, the grandfather of the news media back in that day, as far as the nightly news, was a man named Walter Cronkite, who worked for CBS. He worked with CBS from 1962 as a nightly news broadcaster to 1981. I remember I think it was 69 when they were on the moon, the black and white pictures, and Cronkite was showing us those pictures. I also can remember as a kid the Kennedy assassination and how he broke into CBS programming to present that. I remember that very, very clearly. He was also there at the time when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis. So I remember Walter Cronkite. And the thing about Cronkite and even the other journalists that were a part of NBC and ABC back then is that you could trust their journalistic integrity. They were not trying to make you form an opinion based on what they were sharing with you. They were saying, here's what happened, here's the facts, here's the report that came out. And it was not a commentary after they gave you the news, okay? Well, as you know, everything has changed. Now all media outlets that are 24-hour news are all connected to a commentary. They have someone from the left, someone from the right, someone that's conservative, someone that's not conservative, someone that's a Christian, someone that's not a Christian, and it goes all the way down the list. So now, to get you watching, it's like the more controversy you can create, the more people tune in to see what you're going to have to say. So that leads to what I call journalistic propaganda. And I do believe, and this can work on networks that are conservative and non-conservative as well, but I believe you have what we would call today a propaganda machine, in that journalism is used to create propaganda. You have seen them do this, where they take an interview with someone and they edit the interview, or they edit out things. And you'll never know it because they go back to the person giving the interview, back to the person being interviewed, and it was an edit that was so perfectly done. I saw Speaker Johnson the other day. He actually taped his interview, and here was the whole interview in context, but when they showed it, they took the whole middle section out. I saw them do that with a political campaign person, where they asked a question, here was the original answer, and they went back and let them give a second answer, and they edited it in. Now that's journalistic irresponsibility, because you're not giving the information, but you're painting a picture positively for a propaganda sense. So, you know, we know that we now have MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, 24-hour breaking news, 10 different networks. Some of them are on the internet. Some of them are on cable television. Some of them are on satellite. So a lot of things have shifted. Now, let me tell you why they have blown it. The credibility of a lot of your networks and the people that are giving you the news is in the tank. I mean, you know, do you trust the media? 30%, 35%, sometimes 25%. Sometimes it was down to like 20%. So they've got a problem. But here's what part of the problem is, and I'm not going to elaborate on this. There's enough information on YouTube channels. There's enough information out there in alternative news, the alternative news world that can prove this. There was a Russian collusion allegedly going on that ended up being from a fake dossier. That's been proven, okay? There's about 1.5% to 2% of the people that would have voted the other way had it been proven that that was true. Then there was Hunter's laptop. Now here's a laptop that was found, left at his store, that was released, had information and pictures on it. But we were told it wasn't real, that it was a Russian hoax. You can go to all these people on the left, Russian hoax, 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 hoax. And they even made about 50 people from one of our security departments, one of our government departments that's supposed to handle security and all that, agencies, sign a paper that it was fake. They didn't even say it. They didn't read it. Now they're using the same laptop that's supposed to be fake in the trials against Hunter Biden. Okay? There again, journalistic irresponsibility. And then you have the January 6th situation. It's coming out now from video that they did not want released, that there were actually agents among the people. Now, those agents may have been there just to get information. We don't know, but we also know there's a lot of suspicion connected to that. Then we have the document situation. Well, Joe Biden's got documents from the White House in his garage. But no, he's too old to prosecute. But Trump had some documents. Let's lock him up. So what happens is you have two sets of journalism. You all know this. You have the conservative journalism. You have the woke left-wing journalism. And the left is never going to like anything that the conservatives do. And the conservatives, to be honest, are not going to like anything the left does as well. So we have two sets of journalism. And what we have happening here is, this is what I think, is a lot of disinformation campaigns. If they don't like a particular person, they will take the disinformation and present it. And I found this out from a journalist. I found this out from people that do journalism in local papers, that there are times papers have been sued for false information. And I had a friend of mine that won a $10 million lawsuit like in 30 days from a newspaper that reported wrong information. And I'm not going to get into all that, other than if they use the word "it has been alleged," allegations are never evidence. Let me say it again. An allegation is not evidence, but by saying allegation or "it has been alleged," that puts them in, well, we didn't say it was true. We didn't say it wasn't true. We said it was alleged. So when you read that in a paper report or you hear a news journalist say that, they're just trying to defend themselves from a possible lawsuit that could come with false information. But who is behind this? Let me just say one thing to you. The World Bank Group put out $50 billion for the war in Ukraine. And I'm going to be very careful with what I say here, because I'm on television in the Ukraine and I love the Ukrainian people. There's a lot of good people over there. Now, politically, it may be a different situation, but in all these countries where these wars are going on, there are good common people. It's the common people that often suffer. But I'm going to say one thing. There is one American corporation, and I'm not going to name it. It creates too much controversy for me, and I'm not going to do it. There's one American corporation that is a huge group connected to the military-industrial complex that makes billions off of war equipment, off of selling equipment, off of loans to places where there are war. If a certain man gets in office and his idea is, we're going to stop the wars, we're going to end a lot of this, we're going to go into negotiations, if he's able to do it, it takes billions of dollars away from the industrial military complex. They make money when wars are going on. They do not make money when there is peace, per se. And so I think what we have to understand is we have to watch who we watch. We have to be careful who we listen to. And we have to find out what they believe personally to see if they're inserting their personal opinions and making up disinformation to harm someone. And I'll be honest with you, I think that's why the media has blown it. They haven't stuck with just reporting the news as is. They have inserted their opinions. They've called people all kinds of names. They lie. They absolutely lie on people, and then come back with an apology in a paper that's about that big, or an apology at the end of a program that lasts about 5 seconds. So what I'm going to say, I know there was and I'm going to just say this from a personal perspective, there was a internet news site, and I'm not going to name it, that I used to watch because They were either moderate to conservative. Well, they sold their news site and now they are they're anti-Christian, anti-Bible, and I won't even watch them now. And I tell other people, I said, just ban and block them because it's not worth it to me, because they are now a propaganda machine against Christianity, against the Bible, against churches, against God, against ministries and all that. So don't waste time with them. But there are a few groups out there that are maybe more independent groups that give you information, they give you truth, they give you the facts. And one of the things we have is we have a lot of news information sites that are coming on social media. And a lot of times they don't have the, how can I say this, individuals that kind of monitor them to make sure their information is true or not. And I've heard people come against a preacher. Now I'm going to give this story. I don't know if it's true or not. Well, you shouldn't be talking about it. If you don't know if it's true or not, that's wrong. Well, I don't know them. Well, if you don't know them, why are you talking about them? See, you're acting like the secular world here. But anyway, I wanted to give you that report that I believe that a lot of these organizations could have great news reporters, but they've shot themselves in the foot by reporting so much as fact, true, and it ended up that it wasn't. And the old expression is they've got egg in their face, you know. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you and just kind of provoke your thinking in that line to be careful what you see, be careful what you hear. And always remember this: when you hear something about anyone where it's been alleged, accusations are not evidence. They're not evidence. Anybody can say what they want to. Of course, if you say what you want to and it's wrong, you can be sued for it. So just remember that. So anyway, God bless you. I hope you enjoy the YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. If you learn something, always hit that thumbs up button with every YouTube channel with Perry Stone. What it does, it helps the algorithm for more people to be able to see it on their feed. All right, stay tuned. Got something special to share with you. I have something very exciting for you, and I want you to give me your undivided attention. Did you know that the entire code of the Battle of Armageddon is concealed in the story of Gideon in the Old Testament? Did you also know that in the story of Purim and Queen Esther, that the entire tribulation code of what will happen in the tribulation is concealed in that story, in your Bible? What about the Exodus code? There is more to the Exodus than you simply read. When you examine the prophetic code that's concealed in the book of Exodus and the exodus of the children of Israel to the promised land, it's stunning. You've probably heard people talk about the word Maranatha, the Lord cometh. Did you know there is a code in the story of Maranatha, the word that is found in the scripture? I'm going to also tell you about end-time secrets that are concealed in the parables of Jesus. Many of Christ's parables are about the time of the end and his return, and yet some of them never get preached. What about the stunning and amazing Israeli-American cipher? Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about an audio CD album of 6 live sermons that deal with the 6 greatest codes of the Bible. If you know Perry Stone's ministry, you know one thing. I love mysteries. I love biblical codes. I love studying from the Hebrew perspective. And this is an overdose and an overload of information that is absolutely incredible of how the Old Testament stories conceal the future. It can even tell you things that's going to happen concealed in the story. I want to make this 6 audio CD album available to everybody watching right now. Now here's how you get it. The offer number is 6CD-108. And for $30 or more, you can request Breaking Prophetic Codes, this powerful 6 audio CD album. Now here's how you order. You can order by calling 1-888-21-BREAD, which is a toll-free number, or you can go to perrystone.org and order online, or write me at Perry Stone, P.O. Box 3595, Cleveland, Tennessee 37320, and enclose a check for a donation of $30 or more. And don't forget to request the offer. This is a great offer. If you love prophecy, you're going to overdose on this. You're going to listen to these over and over because there are mysteries that we're going to unlock in the codes of the Old Testament stories that conceal the future. But don't forget this. You can also purchase digital downloads at perrystone.org. So we want to hear from you today. Order this right now because it's a now word on prophecy. God bless you.
If you enjoyed this YouTube content, there's an important website you should know about: perrystone.org. Perrystone.org is an essential resource for the latest books, audiovisual presentations, and digital products from Perry Stone Ministries. Resources that cover the same kinds of topics discussed in the program you just watched. Stop in and see all that's available at perrystone.org.